There's a debate currently going on in the UK Parliament as to whether first cousins should be allowed to get married or whether there should be a ban on that. The reason is because we are beginning to see an increase in the occurrence of birth defects in babies that are born to people that have close family ties. And I'll explain what happens really. So consanguinity is the practice of marriage where family members, the cousins, get married. Now what then happens is that if one person has one abnormal gene and the other person has one abnormal gene and they get married, there's an increased likelihood that both of them will transmit the abnormal genes to their child or to their offspring. And that child, if the child inherits the two copies of the abnormal gene, that child will have the disease condition. It could be sickle cell disease, it could be thalassemia, it could be cystic fibrosis, or enzyme problems, inborn errors of metabolism. Now, people within the same family tend to share similar genes. If I have an abnormal gene, there's a likelihood that my first cousin, could have that same abnormal gene or a similarly abnormal gene. And if I get married to my first cousin, there's a likelihood that both of us could transmit the abnormal genes to our children. And our children would then have birth defects or, chromosomal problems. I saw a question online as to whether the NHS should not fund treatment of birth defects for children that are born to first cousins that get married, within a consanguineous, marriage. I think it would be unfair on the children to deny them funding for treatment of their problems. I understand why that question was raised, is to deter people, to prevent people, to dissuade people from, practicing consanguineous marriages. But I think you shouldn't punish the child for the decisions the parents have made. I think that will be taking it too far. I think this issue should be sorted out by government lobbying. Don't punish the children. The government should consider continuing to lobby, continue to educate people on the harmful impacts of consanguineous marriages. If you marry your cousin, there's a clearly increased chance that your children would have birth defects. It's not a must, but there's a much higher chance that children within that community or population would inherit abnormal genes from both parents, because we understand that people within the same family line tend to have similar genes. It's just biology. It's just how we are as humans. What do you think? What's your opinion on consanguineous marriages? Should the government place a ban, or should government allow first cousins to get married? So people even say second cousins, third cousins shouldn't even get married. I mean, it's cultural. Where I come from in Nigeria,